have a picture. And this is what we're finding out per multiple federal law enforcement sources to our own Bill Malhusian. The Austin mass shooter is a 53-year-old naturalized U.S. citizen who was born in Senegal and was living in Pflugerville, Texas. Material recovered from his person and inside the vehicle give possible indications of a nexus to terrorism, as the FBI announced earlier today. And remember what we said he had in his possession and was also wearing. The shooter was wearing clothing that said Allah on it. His sweater said property of Allah. And there's also known to be an undershirt with an Iranian flag and other materials inside. And remember,
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles as well as the elder bishops who labored to teach us this truth. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing this word in truth, sincerity, and indeed. I'm the brother Kapatazar from the Great Millstone Chicago branch, coming at you with a real quick, Lord willing, edifying lesson. And as you can see, you know, the usual suspects up to their usual trickery. And it's tacky, very psyopish, and it's just easy to see through. Okay? And there's going to be more incidents like this, especially with the assassination of the Islamic leader, the Ayatollah Khomeini, which Americans aren't really understanding the depth of that, because now he's being viewed in the Muslim world as a martyr against the great Satan, and is pretty much going to put the battery in the back of a lot of these Islamist cells. There's a lot of them here in America already, and this is all set up by design. All right, there's going to be more incidences that are going to happen on American soil, which is going to justify them tightening the grip, tightening the squeeze on the American people. It's going to justify them eradicating your rights, getting rid of, it's going to justify them getting rid of free speech and attacking the right to bear arms. So I want to say the first and second. All right. What is it? Free speech and the right to bear arms. Okay. So those First and Second Amendments, these are the last two things that they want to attack to completely disarm and enforce tyranny upon the American people. And incidents like this are just going to help in the cause. It's going to create more hysteria, perplexity, a coldness, so to say. It's going to cause nations to rise against nations, cities against cities, people against people. So the confusion and the madness is here now. And it's just going to increase. Again, it won't just be mass pew-pews. There's going to be, They're going to be using improvised explosive devices. Look out for those. Okay? EFPs. All right? That's going to cause mass casualties. There's all types of devices that are going to be at play here in America. So it's very important that we stay prayed up. You know, it's very important that we focus on that Psalms 91 spirit, because it's about to get crazy out here in America, man. All right. But the point of this lesson is you see this guy, right? Now, granted, so they've made him a black face, right? So they're using a black face now. All right, and they stamping Allah. But mark my words. Understand what the men of the Lord have been saying. There's going to be more attacks like this, but real soon, right? Instead of Allah, they're going to start having fringes on their shirts. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Watch out for when they set up Psyops and the shooter is not only a black face, but he's going to have fringes on his shirts. Because what? They're going to do everything and anything they can to tie in the Israelites with Islam. Okay? Because that's what they really want to do. They're not worried about, they're not really worried about these Muslims. They're not worried about them. They're in idolatry. They don't have the truth. Okay? Islam is not the truth. No, they're worried about the men that are on the street corners professing the truth of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai via the Holy Bible, the true word of God. That's the threat. The threat is epistles like this, as well as the hundreds that are being uploaded daily to the internet. That's the threat, because this truth is out. So they're going to use every tacky tactic that they can to put heat on the men of the Lord. Yahweh Shai told us in the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 16, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So for you blockhead Israelites out there that are walking around every day with fringes on your t-shirts, fringes on your hoodies, everywhere you go, listen up, blockhead. They're going to start pulling a move. They're going to want to associate us with these guys, man. And those clowns at the UPK, they did no favors. That was very agent-like. They did no favors on that vice. Labeled them the most dangerous hate group in America. And they show these goofballs shooting guns, going to ranges. Everybody got fringes on, all blacked up, militant. Okay? So when there's a psyop, a psyop of a mass pew-pew, and it's a so-called black face with fringes on his shirt, just know they're going to tie that in. Oh, yeah, remember there was that hate group on Vice? Yeah. Yeah, there's these guys, yeah. You know? They scream they hate the white man. You know? All the narratives are there. It's not going to work against the elect. It's just going to fulfill the prophecy. But those guys are not wise as serpents. If you're walking around with your fringes on every day, you're not wise. You're not being wise as a serpent. Okay? Yahweh Shai, he gave you two examples in the animal kingdom. A sheep among wolves. If you were a sheep and you were among a bunch of wolves, the smart thing to do would be to blend in as much as possible, to be as incognito as much as you can, not so as to not draw extra attention to yourself. Walking around, you go in a goddamn Walmart and Whole Foods with your damn fringes on everywhere. That's not incognito. That's not wise. It's not wise. Okay? Yahweh Shai said, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. So the whole militant look is unwise. We have no power to take on Esau Edom with his own blessing, which is the sword. We have no power to do that. That's his blessing. Our power is in the fear of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's how we're going to triumph. The scriptures say what? The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. The weapons, I'm going to get it. See, the true believers, man, they understand this. It's these bozos out here, man. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. See? What's the stronghold? A stronghold of our people is Christianity. What's a stronghold? Islam. That's a stronghold on our people. It's got their minds warped. That's a stronghold on the world. See? This false doctrine has taken a great hold of the people all around the world. Not just in the Middle East, all around the world, man. There's millions of niggas like this. See? Continuing on. Yahweh Shai said in the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 17, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues, and you shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. Okay? So it's shit like this that's going to bring on the persecution of the true men of the Lord. Okay? So it's all prophecy. So we have to get our minds and our spirits fine-tuned and ready, because they coming. They coming, man. It's only a matter of time. Okay? It says, but when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not you that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you, man. See? So don't even trip. They're going to try to come with their open-ended questions. Okay, they're trick questions. I forget, it's a specific term, you know, for the type of questions they ask, because they're going to try to bring guilt upon you, depending on how you answer. But we don't have to think too hard about that. We just got to stick to the words of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's it. That's all. You know, just like when Satan tempted Yahweh Shai, what? Yahweh Shai, hey, Satan quoted scriptures, but Yahweh Shai had the ultimate wisdom. You know, Yahweh Shai went back to the law, Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter, I believe. Okay. So all we got to do is just stick with the wisdom and understanding. Okay. And like it, as it is written, you know, rise not up in anger against an injurious person, because they're going to look to entrap our words. That's written in the book of Sirach. You know, so we have to be mindful of how we're conducting ourselves out on the highways and byways, you know, and just be mindful of these epistles. You know, we don't want to be rash and reckless with what we're saying, but we going to say, all right, we going to say what the hell we said. All right, you Edomites, you're not getting a pass. All right, you are the goddamn devil. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to take down your kingdom. Okay, and all this bullshit that you're doing, all these psyops that you're doing, it's just a fulfillment of prophecy, but you're not going to get the victory, man. So to you Israelites out there, hey, man, wise up, man. Lock in. With that, I hope this is edifying. All praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rachah Kodash, Shalom and Abba Ball.